Namaste, angels. I'm going to do my new moon reading, beginning with Door to Spirit, which is about our connection to the universe and really feeling in touch with it. Now, this new moon, I talked about all the special things. This is actually not even only a new moon reading for me, because I talked about all the special things that were happening on this day in my general reading. The 21st is also the feast day of St. Matthew the Apostle. It is also the first day or night of Rosh Hashanah, the Hebrew or Jewish New Year, which starts at sundown. So that's major. I mean, that's one of the high holy holidays. And from where I come with regard to this journey is divinity, not like the quote unquote twin flame stuff, which is sort of, you know, whatever. And then divinity thrown in where it's convenient. Let's bring angels into the conversation, you know, where that fits. And then I'm going to, you know, move on to spacemen and something that some supposed guru channeled. And, you know, from where I come and from where I present what I do, and even my channeled messages with what they align is with what is written about this time. So in that respect, St. Matthew, having been one of the most connected to Jesus, you know, like a vibration of the divine masculine of all time, that's important to me. The new year is important to me in relation to the journey. Also, on this day, as I went over in the astronomy part, and I don't know how many people caught it because I didn't stress it, the moon will sort of obscure three major planets. Now, it happens fairly often, apparently, that the moon will block out, you know, celestial bodies in the sky. It's also going to block out a major star. And apparently this happens fairly often, and it's called occultation, like the occult, O-C-C-U-L-T, and then Asian, occultation. But this particular type, as with so many things this year, is a rare occurrence where it blocks out so many celestial bodies at once. So it's three planets and a major star, which is Regulus is the major star, huge. And also the planets Venus, Mars, and Mercury will all be blocked out by the moon. So I say all that to say there's a lot going on in the spiritual realm, the celestial, with higher energies than our own, and our connection to spirit, which I think has been growing stronger, where a lot of us were feeling lost for a few months. Even some of my own, like I've reported that, you know, my telepathy wasn't as strong at one point and all that. You know, I used to be able to feel every single thing of, you know, like my divine masculine or whatever. I hadn't been able to in that way, you know. Everything becoming heightened again, which was also demonstrated in the weekly reading when, you know, I just had that feeling, although there was nothing going on with Pluto other than it's in retrograde, but it's been in retrograde and it will continue to be in retrograde. It goes direct on the 28th, actually. Nothing was going on with Pluto or the zodiac of Scorpio, but I felt Scorpio coming from Mars. I felt that energy with Mars being a ruler of Scorpio. And, you know, sure enough, at the heart of the matter, I think it was the Queen of Water showed up, like dead center. And that's about our intuition and other connections to spirit being heightened too. So I think that that's what this is going to be about in great part the next 2 weeks. In addition to the fact that the month of Tishri, which also begins, I almost left that out, also begins on the 21st. 21st is the first day of the month of Tishri. So it's not just the new year. I guess similar to on the Gregorian calendar, when we have New Year's Day, you know, it's also the day of the year starts, whatever. The month of Tishri is the head of months, so it's meant to be the first. It starts on the 21st. So all of that going on, I think, is from where our daughter spirit is coming, this door wide open yet again for us. Well, you know, all of our, especially where we have worked on healing and or clearing our energy, not necessarily in that order. We are very much feeling connected these days. Opening to the goddess of the moon. She's in reverse, however, which would indicate some sort of imbalance on her part and maybe refusal to surrender on some of our part. Still trying to do like our own thing. Daughter spirit remaining upright, and patience in reverse, indicating maybe that some of us are not very patient at all right now. Which goes along with Virgo, actually. Patience up right now. But that does go along with the sign of Virgo, like this impatient. Although it's an earth sign and they tend to be methodical and plan stuff out, of the three, Virgo is the most to want to like do it now. Like, okay, I've made my plan, let's do it now. Opening to anxiety. Which makes sense opposite patience, right? If you're getting impatient, starting to bite your nails, pull your hair out, and all that kind of stuff. Because when is something going to happen? Something more tangible. And opening to daughter romance, also in reverse. Trying to figure out how to get that connection back. Patience in reverse. And the thinking woman, upright. The thinking woman coming through upright is always positive. She's helpful in this way when she's in this position. And she is, you know, kind of connected to earth in this sense because she helps with, she's like a bookkeeper to me. She can give you like financial advice and help you to get things in order, you know, sort of Virgo-ish in that sense too. When she's in reverse, she's horrible though. I'm gonna cut. All tied up, upright. And whereas this can be about restriction, I'm not feeling that for everybody, although I'm definitely feeling that. And I got to tell you, I was feeling that from a few cards. I felt that some people, more so the divine masculine, that one of the major obstacles, and I'm starting with the obstacles card if I use the hashtag creepy deck. And I'm starting with message from afar if I use the Tony Carmine Solano Universal Love Oracle. And with the 10 of air, I use the Angel Tarot. Also with something called Just for a Moment of Joy with a new deck that was gifted to me by one of my clients / friends, Facebook friends, all that kind of stuff. But before I even came to these cards, as I was shuffling the first deck, I was feeling that some people were like in jail. And for some, I think that it's literal. In jail, in rehab, and more so the divine masculine, although I do have a client of the feminine persuasion that checked themselves, a divine light client that found, I told you everybody's cleanse is different, everybody's healing is different. With theirs, they found the courage and the strength to check themselves into rehab for 90 days and was even talking about, you know, making plans, sort of Virgo-ish, to purchase like their next cleanse from inside rehab. That's like the that's how much commitment and drive, motivation had been like unleashed within them. So I'm saying all this to say, I do feel that some of us, the obstacle is distance, and it's physical distance And it's because the person literally can't get to you. And I was feeling this in one of the readings the other day. I said they can't get to you, but it didn't go this far where it came to me, oh, they're in jail. They're in rehab. So for some, that's what I'm feeling from this. And I think the more so overall, particularly because of the other cards that I have. But for some, also a positive message jumped right out of this, you know, that it was like tying the knot, you know, like off the market, that kind of all tied up. And the overall energy is action, which looks like a very earthy card too, a very Virgo-ish card with all this green here. That's why my nails are green too. Not just because of Virgo itself, but because of all of the activity in and around Virgo right now, I think is why I was moved to do this, including both of my ruling planets at the moment being in Virgo, Venus and Mercury. In any case, this card upright directs us to take action. This will represent the divine couple, the recent past, the near future. I paused for a second because I wasn't sure if I had flipped that card over, but I guess if I did, I was meant to. The masculine's higher self, blocks to the union, what the feminine can do, what the masculine can do, further advice from the universe, and the outcome. And let me do these dice while I'm here before they continue to be in the way. I'm beginning with 29, which came up in both readings this week, the love and the general, and represents, no, excuse me, spiritual partnership. So that can certainly be a divine union, a quote unquote twin flame union. And from a general perspective, it can be any kind of partnership, a spiritual partnership. Maybe you're going into business with somebody of a like mind. You're going into juicing, you know, so natural foods or crystals or whatever. And it's a partnership surrounding something spiritual. I'm beginning with sex. We all know what that is, whether we've had it or not. And email as well. We're all familiar with what this means. It means communication and contact. And I think could also have been coming in this week because of Uranus, which is the ruler of Aquarius. Spirit says, eat cake. This could be to celebrate all the birthdays. I was also feeling birthdays, particularly of a masculine energy or a male. A lot of you got back to me. It's my father's birthday. It's my brother's birthday, you know. So that was nice. Continue to, you know, be happy and merry. Eat cake. Maybe some of us eating cake for Rosh Hashanah too. That's a holiday. It's a new year. It's a celebration. We're eating cake. Mazel tov and l'chaim and happy birthday and all that kind of stuff to all to whom that applies. And maybe also, again, the getting married. I said getting married, all tied up. That came out, that getting married. So yes, again, mazel tov. Romantic dinner. So that may be cause to celebrate too. And maybe we'll have dessert also at that dinner. We'll have some cake and try again. Romantic dinner because we were guided to make the effort in the love reading. Spirit says, yes, it's exactly what I mean. Yes. And if you had a yes or no question in mind, the answer is yes. Okay, the divine couple. Angel of balance. Upright. I like this. You know why I particularly like it? Because in both readings, balance, I kept talking about balance. The general and the love, I believe. I know I did quite a bit of talking about balance this week. Air and water coming together and all that kind of stuff. The recent past. Happy family in reverse. This can certainly be about karmic situations and family. You know, there's different compositions of family. In some cases, it is a, you know, there was formerly a mom and a dad and some kids together. But in some cases, this can be us. This can be our own, because I've also been feeling that, like somebody's dominant, overbearing parents sort of causing them to feel imprisoned too and like rule their life. I was feeling weird stuff and hearing weird stuff earlier too. Like I was feeling stuff about like complexion or race. It might have been racial differences. But I think complexion came through first. Like who was dark skinned and who was light skinned. And so the parents didn't want you with this person. And I guess race could apply there too. So any disruption of the family would result in this family upside down. I just wanted to make clear that it's not necessarily like mom, dad, and kid. In some cases, even when it is mom, dad, and kid, we're the kid, is what I'm trying to get to. Near future. Deceit, upright. I'm tired, so tired of this. But maybe some stuff is going to come out. Fours also represent foundations, which can also be very much connected to like Virgo. Our foundations, like the Four of Pentacles. Blocks to the union. Door to personal healing and happiness. It's upright, it's open. But this is a block. I'd have to say that it's a self-imposed block that we refuse to go through this door toward our own personal healing and happiness because we've been too caught up with what family members want. Like, again, the family members that don't want you with a particular race or complexion of person or whatever, any other kind of whatnot that your parent or anybody else is trying to impose upon you. That would prevent you, should you listen, from going through your own door towards your own personal healing and happiness. And lying to yourself. That could be part of the deceit. With these two sevens crossing one another, card number 34 and card number 25. This deceit about what makes you happy and what you need to be happy. Like you can live like this. That's lying to yourself. Also lying to you about the person, you know, with whom you're in love and, you know, about whom you're thinking, to whom you're connected on this journey, and people trying to talk you out of that person. The masculine's higher self. Anxiety in reverse. So this is getting up his courage to make a move and do something. And for some cases, he probably has already. At the time of this reading. And that's why the family has become, you know, turned on its side or on its head. It's upside down. And some things are having to come out. Some things where he had been deceived and there had been deceit between them. That's taking action, our overall energy. What the feminine can do. Thinking woman in reverse. So in some cases, we're going to need to be mindful of this woman either around us or the masculine or both. And this woman is a control. Remember I said at the beginning, she's not good in reverse. She is a controlling, manipulating woman that tries to drag you around by the purse strings, which can be, again, somebody's parent, somebody's mother. I mean, I guess it can be their father too, but the thinking woman, it tends to really come through as a woman for me, or at least a feminine energy. Somebody's father could be the feminine in the family, and the mother could be the masculine. That's a possibility too. It can be a girlfriend, a wife, a mother of a child, or something like that. She's a manipulator. So we're going to need to be mindful of that. And we're going to, you know, in relation to our union, but also in relation to our family, and make sure that this person isn't us. And if it is, you know, stop lying to yourself that you are holding up. Maybe you're holding up somebody else's divine masculine because you're holding on to a karmic or something like that, in connection to some behavior like that. And you're lying to yourself. These are things we're going to want to be mindful of in relation to the thinking woman and this family, and also our own personal balance and happiness and healing. What can the masculine do? Oh, angel of love. He can just love and be love. That's what this means. It's upright. I love seeing this too for him. And go to love also. Move toward love. Be love himself, but also be open to receiving love. We need that 50-50, you know, that back and forth, that exchange. We need that. And this is crossing the happy family in reverse. So it's like, despite, again, where I felt that he was being manipulated and he had been controlled, despite whomever this is, or what, you know, whatever this body represents of happy family that's now in reverse, he's going after his own personal healing and happiness and his own desires. He's upright. And 49 equals 13 equals 11, 11 too. Further advice from the universe. Appreciation is here in reverse. So the universe guiding us or pointing out to us that key in leading a happy and healthy life is always counting our blessings. And that's how, you know, the laws of the universe work too. In us being appreciative and caring about with what we're blessed, and, you know, the environment and everything around us, other creatures and creations of the Creator, is how we continue to manifest positivity and good things into our own personal lives, but into the world at large, which is what divine unions or twin flames are supposed to be about, actually. Healing the world. As in the words of Michael, heal the world, make it a better place. The outcome. Dark Spirit, upright, boom. I love how that happened. I'm going to move on to the next spread though, because I have like a bunch of cards here that I want to go with you guys. So take a look. See what happens when we take action? That's interesting though, because I think, was it the love reading? In one of the readings, at least in relation to one thing or another, the masculine was guided not to take action as part of the advice. I'm going to do now, speaking of the masculine, using the Turning Karma and Salerno Universal Love Oracles, a more romance-related spread from his perspective. And I just had taken out some green stones. I don't know. I usually don't do this, surround my cards with stones, other than the fact that they're already sitting here. But I was moved to pull out. I had a piece of bloodstone here with some green in it. This is serpentine, jasper, raw emerald. Just moved to pull out some green healing stones. Okay, so message from afar. And again, you know, I already went over kind of, in some respects, what I feel afar means. Some of us literally cannot get to one another. It's not that we don't want to. So in some cases, if you haven't heard from your divine masculine, or even maybe the feminine, and you're looking for her, you're expected to have heard. In some cases, they are afar and they just can't. And I guess in some cases also, although all the natural disasters we've been having, that may be a factor as well for some people, where their communications are limited. Even myself, just being away, I had that intermittent Wi-Fi with all the storms that were happening. So message from afar. Aww. And opening to soulmate right away. Implying that's, with whom we're trying to make contact. Message from afar. And transience. This is about the healing too. So more of this green emerald ray coming through for me. You see, this woman is allowing herself to be healed in all areas. She is allowing herself to be, you know, to go into full surrender. Message from afar. And miracles. I think this is important too. I don't think I mentioned that, but I was feeling like, you know what? As a matter of fact, this card, which looks very, not only Virgo new moon or moon, but also I can see the Mercury and the Venus with all this blue, this white, like it's the air again, the air and the earth now. And even the air and the water again, the Mars connection to Scorpio and all that kind of stuff. This card means, at the gist of it, what I was saying about being willing to be receptive too. When we open our arms and say, yes, I welcome the transience, I put that card away already, but I welcome like your healing. I welcome, you know, in all areas of my life. Yes, I thank you. I'm appreciative. Universe, I thank you. You know, open arms is when we continue to be, you know, flooded with the universe's healing energy and blessings. That's what this card is about. That's miracles. And when I picked this up, I guess I was also meant to show you guys relationship. So miracles, even with relation to your relationship, you know, where you weren't expecting, like where, I keep getting jarred, like talk about this now. Similar to as the 10 of air guides us to do, like stop expecting negativity and expect positivity now. That's what the universe wants us to do in this moment. Expect positivity now. And when I picked this up, going back to the balance, which is temperance, which is all about healing in the tarot, the temperance card, major arcana card, number 14, is sitting here in upright as well, underneath the 10 of air. The need for balance and moderation, cooperation and compromise. That's that 50-50. Wait for perfect timing. So the card's trying to help me to be more eloquent about organizing my thoughts, all the things that were running through my head about this period, in telling you guys. Wait, I dropped a card. Let's see if it means anything. Spiritual growth is the one that I just dropped on the floor. Okay. So back to message from afar, opposite miracles. Miracles, and I'll go one more, and it's the gateway. So I think a lot of us have reached it. Maybe once again. We constantly go through death and rebirth as far as I'm concerned, and, you know, reach these points. Miracles. One more. Let's go. Listening. This may be connected to the messages from afar and the need to pay attention and the communication and the email. Here's a star. The star card, major arcana card, the star, 17 in the tarot, represents the sign of Aquarius, which is ruled by the planet Uranus. So there comes that email and stuff too. Again, that communication. But it could be telecommunication as well. And receiving a message from afar, either from the universe or your partner or both. And again, miracles can happen even when you're not, and not only even, especially when you're not like expectant of anything, not only anything negative, but maybe anything, you know, either way, just going again into that surrender. I'm gonna cut. Boom, sacred union. Didn't you feel that coming on? And the overall energy is that spiritual growth card. I'm also burning incense. Well, it looks like it has stopped burning, but it's Moldavite incense. So that's also another crystal, another green stone. And it's like ground into this incense as a vehicle for also releasing healing energy. Okay, the feminine with regard to herself during this period, 2 weeks around of new moon and of the high holy days, Rosh Hashanah through, and all the days of repentance through Yom Kippur, that period. The masculine with relation to the feminine. Himself. And the union as a whole. Overall. And the outcome. What the masculine would have the feminine to do or surrender toward the union or contribute. What he himself is willing to. And what the universe would have the two of the relationship to do, surrender, contribute toward the union. Tantric union for the feminine. So this is more messages from afar. Hopefully in some cases closer than others, or it will be brought closer after the communication. But this card can represent a lot of the 5D communication, and that speaking without words, even when we are in the presence of one another physically. This card, I guess, representing the feminine's desire for that and willingness to communicate and to listen, as the cards have directed us thus far. The masculine with relation to the feminine. Dreams. So, message from afar, tantric union, dreams. This is, again, coming to us in the fifth dimension, and perhaps literally through dreams, but other forms of, telepathy, telecommunication. Also, like the woman, it's not always going to be a woman, whoever the feminine, but like woman of your dreams, that saying, that's also coming through as a dual meaning. The masculine with relation to himself. Golden path. So very appropriately, he's headed down the yellow brick road toward the Emerald City or the Emerald Ray for that healing. And, we should allow him the period to do that. That could be another reason why he can't, or he feels as if he can't get to us right now. It's not the right time for him to get to us right now. And for some, literally, he's gone down a path and gone someplace that's led him to a place of healing. Again, he's in rehab or something like that. With relation to the union. Expectancy. I just talked about this before I laid this spread, about letting go of expectations and just allowing for miracles to happen in our lives. That's what the masculine is seeing for the union as a whole right now. Also, expectancy in a more literal sense for us and the birth of new things, which is also quite appropriate with a new year and a new month and a new moon. All of those being about new beginnings. So that a dual meaning for the expectancy card as well. Overall, love. Be love. Be in love. Follow, your heart. Go to where love leads you, and not listening to outside or external forces. What would the masculine have the feminine to do? Listen again and pay attention to her intuition and to the messages she's receiving, the communication she's receiving in 5D. And even when they're right there together, when he's not saying what she might feel needs to be said in a verbal sense, she still needs to pay attention and receive the messages that he's sending without words, is what this is here for. But also more electronic communication. She can text him. She can email him. More of this star, more Aquarius, more Uranus. She can call him. She can call him, yeah, too. Well, is the masculine willing to do surrender, contribute? Wow. Wow. It's the listening. So he's going to do his part. This thing is going to be 50-50, this communicating. And maybe where in the past he had been you know, blocked off, whether self-imposed or whatever situation was preventing him from hearing, he's going to listen this time. So that's beautiful, and really goes along with our other cards and our overall energy of this spiritual growth, as well as the card that's behind it, also upright, emergence, because it's rising from, when I look at this card and I see all the brightness and the white light, which is like Christ light, coming at this angel, this angelic being, with all this yellow and orange and purple and sort of regal and healing and divine colors. I have to mention imagine the dark is below her, and that's from where she emerged. That's what led to the spiritual growth. And speaking of all the Christ light, and I talked about Christ in the beginning, that's what's behind that card, the universal heart, Jesus the Christ. What would the universe have the two of us to do? Retreat. More of this stuff, maybe to think about what it is you want to communicate before you unleash, and get grounded. Spend some time in, with the earth, with Mother Nature. Maybe do some meditation outside if you're at all in an area that's conducive to doing that. But reconnecting with the earth, communing with nature, opens up a lot of the flow toward abundance. The flow toward abundance. And the outcome. Boom! I have loved this reading so far. Soulmate is the outcome. And this looks like emergence too. This like angelic being. She doesn't have wings or anything, but also she's in surrender. She's nude. Her eyes are closed, emerging from like a lotus flower, into under the moon, but also with the sun shining and rainbows and all things awesome. Aww, and crowned by love and like rooted in soulmate. How fabulous is that? Really. And so now do a spread with the Angel Tarot, beginning with the Ten of Air. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Somebody may even be recovering from addiction, and they may actually be recovering from an addiction like substance abuse. And that may be why you haven't heard from them. In other cases, this is any like codependent situation. Any toxic person, place, or thing to which we've like refused to, or from which we've like refused to break away. That coming up. And a lot of that, I'm being reminded by them right now, our refusal or our inability to break away has been Pluto retrograde. So I started to talk about that before and I didn't go on. But Pluto retrograde has restricted many of us from being able to like go to completion on some of these things we wanted to do, break away from some of these people, places, and things from which we wanted to break away. So again, Pluto goes direct during this period for which this reading is on the 28th of September. And that can be one of the things that helps us to break away too. And opening to the Ten of Water, a contented and rewarding family life. Your emotional and material needs are met. Trustworthy relationships. 2 tens also. So the end of difficulty and fresh starts in both of these areas. 10 of Air. And the Queen of Fire, who is confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. Queen of Fire. 7 of Air. Plans and need revision. More going on than meets the eye and poor timing. This can speak to that, what I was talking about a second ago, and having been unable to break away from something. Even though air certainly doesn't represent Pluto, this can speak to a lack of confidence, self-confidence, trust in oneself, and maybe connected to that deceit card, right? Deceiving ourselves. But that's changing. The Chariot is here. That's a card of major victory. Represents the sign of Cancer, or the water sign, Scorpio, Pisces. And is about movement and moving. Maybe we're moving out of our parents' house because they have been too controlling and we can't live under their rules anymore. Maybe we're moving out of a house that we shared with a partner, and that relationship is over. Maybe it's been over in some cases, but we continue to live together for whatever reason. We're unable to break away. We're breaking away now. We're getting new cars. We're traveling, maybe to be closer to one another, to reduce that distance that had been between us. The Chariot also about all planes, trains, automobiles, so moving and movement in both the literal and metamorphic. Did I say metamorphic? Well, yeah, maybe metamorphosis. You're going through a complete change. You know what I meant. I'm stuck now. Metamorphosis is about change, like a transitioning, like a caterpillar to a butterfly. So that's not what I meant, but maybe that also needed to come out. Movements in the area of transitioning and transformation and all that, maybe where we had been stagnant before. The overall energy is the World with the Archangel Michael. A job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude in the path toward enlightenment. I also had the Ace of Fire to fall out, jump out. The Knight of Fire. There were two other cards. I already forgot what they were. But the World is about being eased out of a difficult situation for me. Sometimes a tiring situation, a long drawn out situation. I connected to like overstaying our own welcome. Like we know we should have left a situation, a circumstance, a person, a friend, a romantic partner, our parents' home, whatever the case is. We know a job, we should have gotten out of there a long time ago. We did not. So now the universe, rather than towering us, is, like more gently pulling us out of a situation. That can require patience. That may be why patience continued to come up. That can require patience once it starts. Sometimes the universe takes its time. It's easing us out of one situation and easing us into another, better situation. I also call it my waiting to exhale card. And that movie's been on quite a bit. I keep catching it at least. Also, how Stella got her groove back. Every time I turn on my TV, that's on, or Waiting to Exhale is on. It's crazy. But I call it my Waiting to Exhale card because it's like you've been holding your breath all this time, and it may have been in a situation that involved a third party or a third energy, and you just felt like you couldn't breathe. You couldn't breathe, but you were still there, still, withstanding it and all of that. And then finally, that's ended, and you can exhale. Masculine, the Ace of Air, brilliant new ideas and inspirations, seeing the truth of a situation and maybe a challenging beginning. Ace of Air is another card of victory. On the heels of the Chariot, I would say it's definitely about victory and having cut away what no longer serves us. The Ace of Air, the king of that, the ace of that, of dismissing things that don't work for him. Also, the Ace of Air is about new beginnings, absolutely. All aces are always about new beginnings. But the Ace of Air can show up where somebody had been going through a difficult time before, which the World can possibly reflect. The sun is under the World, by the way, but it's upside down. Somebody having gone through a difficult time before, and that difficult time being over, and that's what's sort of giving way to their fresh start. Masculine surrounded by the Six of Fire, more victory, 3 victory cards in a row. Victory, good news is on its way, public recognition or awards. Actually, I think this is one of the cards that have fallen out too, and I sort of just stuck it back in. They were all fire. with the exception of one. There was one more. I still don't remember what that was. But the 6 of fire, the Knight of fire, the Ace of fire all had fallen out. Maybe I'll see that one too and be reminded. The masculine subconscious. Oh, here's the Knight of fire. And I promise you, I stuck them all in arbitrarily. A sudden event that needs immediate attention. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Knight of fire could be an actual person in your life, similar to how the Ace of air may be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Getting back to that Aquarius and that star energy that keeps coming through here with this reading thus far. The Knight of fire may be a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And with Regulus being involved in all of this, Regulus being blocked out by the moon, along with Mercury, maybe it's Leo, a Leo that will come in. Not that that necessarily matters, but you, the masculine himself, may be taking on this sort of Leo Knight of fire mentality, at least with this being in this position. Like it's time for me to take action, and save the day. Feminine. Ooh. This is that inappreciation. The 5 of water, this, speaks to not counting one's blessings for me. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive in the situation and crying over spilled milk. This is like failing to see that we have these 2 beautiful cups here and being more concerned with what's laying down here. It's like being greedy too. It's like that, the dog that's over the water and, sees his own reflection and thinks that there's another bone that he could be getting, with the bone in his mouth. He thinks he sees another dog and I could have their bone too. And so he opens his mouth and his bone falls because he wasn't, like appreciative of the one he has. I'm also getting that this is for some connected to the family situation from the first spread, where it's like the feminine is getting her way, or she's getting something that she's wanted. Maybe she's finally getting introduced to the family, or finally being, told about the family, or the family's finally being told about her. And I don't know, something's wrong there. Like it's not the way she pictured it would have happened or came out. There's something associated with, like she's still not happy, like her feelings are hurt or something like that. And then I'm also getting a lot of stuff with this card. I'm also getting that for some, this is about the feminine's need to let go of a karmic situation and or relationship too. Be that a friendship or romantic relationship or whatever it is, or something with her parents, or a combination of those, who knows, or drugs or whatever, any type of codependent situation or karmic situation. She's got to let go of something too. I'm hearing, I think they're taking me back to the other circumstance, because I'm hearing black or white. Like I started out talking about, I said, it might have something to do with complexion or race. It's not necessarily either of those. It can be, but it's not necessarily either of those. It's like the stark differences where the masculine's like ideologies or his family's ideologies or somebody who's in his ear, who's got his ear, their feelings, their sentiments, their values are black and yours are white, or vice versa. Like completely different. And so that's been a block with the masculine, allowing these people to have manipulated him, having allowed these people to manipulate him. I forgot what the other scenario was that was coming in, what I was talking about when that came back. Oh, where the feminine has to let go of something too, like wanting your cake and eating it too, but not really, like not wanting this other karmic situation, but just fear of letting it go. Like maybe it's a marriage or some other type of cohabitation, right, with your child's parent. And you're not interested anymore. You don't want to be there anymore, but you're afraid to leave, afraid to, what's going to happen to my children, or you're living with your parent. And You know, they're going to, maybe it's that person that's controlling you by the purse strings. Maybe they're going to like write you out of the will or whatever. They're not going to give you financial support or whatever, or whatever kind of support you need if you leave. So it's like, well, okay, I'm getting the opportunity to finally leave, but I'm losing something too. And not being happy, not being satisfied. You know, like that Prince song, when doves cry, maybe I'm just like my mother. She's never satisfied. It's like you just can't, it's crying over spilled milk. Right? You're going to find something to be like miserable about, basically. Okay, wow, that was a mouthful. Surrounding the feminine. Okay, boom. Boom. That's what I was feeling, like her feelings are hurt or something's not right with this introduction to the family, or, you know, the honesty that comes forth, getting back to that deceit card, you know, mom, dad, I'm a lesbian, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying. And coming out and something goes horribly wrong in some of these cases with and so the feminine has something to be happy about because yes, it finally came out. Yes, my partner finally admitted she's no longer into men. You know, this is just an example, obviously. But now we have this other issue and it's painful. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm just running off at the mouth, but I can see what I'm trying to say. I'm just not sure if it's coming out right now because I'm just being bombarded. The feminine subconscious. 3 of air. Another 3 of earth. This is the 3 of air. Another 3 because we got. What did I drop the overall energy? I see. What the heck? I don't know how the world card got there. Okay. This was our overall energy. I guess when I moved something around, but I hadn't noticed before. In any case, it's another 3. And so for some, I mean, this is going to be any zodiac sign. These are not court cards or whatever. But for some, and maybe this is what the Knight of Fire is here for, to save the day here, to heal these wounds, cheer up the feminine. Maybe that's what he's going to come running off to do. But right now she's hurt. And I just got Virgo with the air and the earth here. It's like Mercury. Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo. So I just got that this connection involved a Virgo, I guess, for a good many. But in any case, it's some sort of third energy. And it could be anybody. So your parent that's in your way could be an earth sign, or your former partner, or somebody that you're with that you need to get rid of, or whatever the case may be. Or you know, they could be any sign. These are not even court cards. That just came through about the Virgo. So we got 3 3s here. Okay. I feel like things have like taken a turn. Oh, from all that love. Remember Be Love and then the Angel of Love and all that stuff. As I say that, I turn to the side. I put these cards over here, and the Angel of Love is still atop. Oh goodness. All right, crowning. The 9 of Fire. So it's like, despite whatever situation, whichever situation applies to you in your life, we're to keep going. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. So that's your union. That's, you know, the new you, right? Your newfound confidence and self-esteem, or whatever it is. Have courage and believe in yourself. Believe that you can keep going. At the root. See, boom! It's the star with Archangel Jophiel. Now I did all that talking about the star. Here it is. So more Aquarius, more Uranus. And maybe the need to clear some matters up and have some communication. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path. So this could be connected to the 5 of water again for the feminine, for instance, like where she's feeling sort of melancholy and, oh, woe is me. not looking at the bright side and realizing what she does have and being optimistic and realizing, you know, things are moving now. You know, I'm glad this stuff came out. Yeah, some of it hurt my feelings, but at the same time, it's good that this came out because now we can move forward or whatever, you know, whatever the situation is. Again, you're on the right path. And the idea is to think optimistically. This is also a wish card. This is a yes. We got a yes from the dice. And as I say that, I look to the side and that's still sitting here in my face too. We got a yes from the dice. And now this is a big, huge, resounding yes from the major arcana, right? Wishes granted, prayers answered. So this will be healed, especially we have this crossing the 3 of air. And the 17 is an 8. 8s are about justice and, you know, the infinite of the guidance and support and love of God, the universe. So this will be healed. At the heart of the matter, oh Lord, it's another 3. A celebration, a wedding, graduation, or birth announcement, the need to have more fun. And for some, it's just that. It's like the need to get out and be social. I got that wallflower energy from the hashtag creepy deck that just came through as I was saying that. For others, yes, we're celebrating because this is our new beginning. Yes, it was difficult getting to here, but we're victorious and we're celebrating that. I also said when I held up that tied up card that I felt that some people were getting married, tying the knot. That's a celebration. It's also Rosh Hashanah, you know, so like mazel tov to the wedding and l'chaim, you know, but the toasting drinks for the new year and all of that with this 3 of water. Also, it's a 3 though. It's another 3. We got 4 now. Which equals 3, right? Does that equal 3 too? 7 times 4. Oh no, I was thinking about 7 times 3 equals 21 equals 3. Looking at these 3. These 3 equal another 3. Yeah, but we've got 4 3s. So definitely a third energy of some sort that is presenting a problem in people's lives. Or is cause for celebration for some, even though the road has been hard. Oh my goodness. All right, you know what? I'm going to go to hashtag creepy deck. Beginning with the obstacles. So what may be the problem? And opening to children. Boom, another 3. There's 3 kids in this picture. So as I was saying, for some, it's like your child's parent or your children's parent, or you're one of these children, you know, you're represented by one of these children and it's a problem with your parents. It's all of those sort of things that are presenting obstacles for you. Children. And opening to friendship. It could be one of these foul friendships too. I've been telling you all about these friends that are not really your friends. These are frenemies that want something more. Again, maybe at work, a co-worker. I said that, I think, during the weekly or something. Because it can be the relationship that you keep up, again, with your child's parent. Like they're trying to hold on to something more with this ring here on the finger. Friendship now at the top. And past love. Boom. With this. It's like keeping a friendship with your ex and it's unhealthy. That's for some. For some, it's like your friends or your family that still is in love with the ex and can't get over the fact that you're finished with them. They're like left a hole in their hearts, or they're just acting up about it. You know, like they prefer the other person that's only supposed to be your friend. They don't need to be your friend or anything else at this point. It's just become a really unhealthy situation. I mean, if you have children together, that's different. You try to, you know, maintain some sort of amicable relationship, but the line is thin and you got to make sure that you draw it. Like, you know, we're co-parenting. We're not, there's no opportunity for this unless there is, you know, which is up to you. No judgment from me. I'm just saying if you're trying to follow the path, you're on the right path. If you're trying to stay on it, you got to make the boundary line clear. and destiny. So one way or another, what's meant to happen is going to happen, basically, when destiny shows up. Friendship. I'll go one more. Freedom. Yeah, this is what we need. Freedom from these people, from these toxic situations, whether they're people or a substance, a place, a thing that we can't seem to, of which we can't seem to let go. And for some of us, it's going to take Pluto. I don't know if I said that already or not, but it's going to take the end of Pluto retrograde. Now, Pluto goes direct on the 28th. I know I mentioned Pluto before, but I don't think I went into the fact that it's been holding us, a lot of us back. That, and particularly Scorpios, in my opinion, you know, which it rules. It's been like there are things that we've wanted to end, but we haven't been able to. And it's because of Pluto. And I think when it goes direct, it will be easier, although we'll remain in shadow still for a while after it goes direct. I can't, the date is escaping me of when it exits shadow at the moment. It may be one of those things that happens in November, because a lot is going on then, October, November. In any case, it's holding people back from being able to end some of these friendships, toxic friendship. Maybe they dated as kids and supposedly there's nothing to it, but the other person still feeling something, still wants to pursue and doesn't know that they're being, you know, like your partner doesn't realize they're being manipulated and tugged around by the heartstrings, again, by this person. I don't know why I keep a soulmate. I was going to say, I don't know why I keep being drawn to look at another card, but yeah, a soulmate. A toxic soulmate, a karmic soulmate. That's at the top. All right, I'm going to cut. Boom. What'd I say? It's the wallflower. Yeah. This is what I was feeling, as you know, as I mentioned. The overall energy is the dark male. This is so funny. Dark male was like the outcome or something in the love reading, and has been lingering for probably about 5 weeks now. I didn't ask that these cards be connected. I just realized that. I mean, they may be, because the angels, God, you know, they can do whatever they want. God can certainly do what he wants. The universe can do what it wants. But I didn't ask for it. All right, let's see what we got. So atop the Ace of Air. Gifts. Gifts. Well, the Ace of Air, again, is about victory and new starts, new beginnings, or things anew. That in itself can be a gift. Let's see what else comes out. Atop the Six of Fire, the obstacles are back. So something is trying to prevent our victory. Something's trying to prevent this new start. So I guess the fact that it comes to fruition anyway would certainly be a gift and a blessing. Atop the Knight of Fire, twin flame. So I was just saying the masculine may be coming to save the day for his love. He may actually turn into the Knight of Fire to heal whatever situation that is that he probably in part created. Or I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say he did in part create, because we got to take 50-50 responsibility for that too. Him going after his twin flame to resolve the situation. And I also came up with twin flame and dark male in the love reading. Like, one represented the union and one was the outcome, like that. Underneath dark male, when I picked it up, also facing in the same direction, upright, destiny. So this is your destiny. Atop the 5 of water, mature man. So this can be, mature man always often represents the planet Mars for me, which could come into play with this 5. Mars is aggressive and can be about conflict, but it's also a ruler of Scorpio, so there's where the water would come in. For some of the feminine, this can be your father or your parent. It could be representing your mother too, or your spouse or your ex, or any number of people in your life having to do with this feeling of loss or a conflict here. Melancholy. Atop the 3 of air. Yeah, another Mars-like card for me. This guy definitely always represents Mars. Like this one is more so Aries, which is ruled by Mars when I look at this guy. But this guy, when I look at him, I see Mars. Although he has this line here, and Leo also comes to play, with all this frozen tundra. Ice comes into play. And this showed up in some capacity in the love reading as well. So those of you who haven't seen that may want to watch that as well. And somehow this guy is connected to the pain, the healing that needs to happen, whatever he represents in your life. It can be just conflict, lions and an angry looking man and ice and stuff. That's just violent, all on its own. Atop the 3 of earth is short-term heartbreak, and it's sitting here right underneath the 3 of air, which is the heartbreak. So definitely this pain somehow associated with a 3rd energy, which can actually, these can actually be representing a real person, but they don't have to be. They can be representing that 3rd energy too, whatever that thing is for you. Atop the 9 of fire, brunette female. This may be someone who is trying to take or destroy what you've created. This is like the green eyes of jealousy, like the green-eyed bandit, green eyes of envy. This can be who's trying to take what you've created. Don't give up, protect it, says the 9 of fire. Atop the star, and your wish is being granted, is soulmate. So I guess with a different meaning, because it's sitting here next to twin flame now. And remember, we had soulmate before in the other spread, along with sacred union. So now we have it taking on the meaning and support of our actual unions. And wishes coming through in that area. Or wish coming true that you've finally been able to release a karmic soulmate. I mean, that can still be also. And that may involve short-term heartbreak, because it may still be, involve some sort of pain to cut that cord. Maybe the cord's been there for 20 years, 10 years, whatever. And so we grew up together, like I was saying before. We're childhood friends. I got to cut this person off now. That may cause some sort of temporary pain. At the heart of the matter, atop the 3 of water. Boom. Another 3. It's a triangle. There you go. It's probably this person. Or this person. Yeah, some sort of karmic soulmate. They have been a major obstacle. Dealing with them is going to cause short-term pain. But at the end of the day, a new start, which is a gift and a blessing. And the masculine in part responsible by not giving up and going after what he wants. Boom, twin flame. I feel like I just came off an emotional roller coaster. And as promised, I'm going to now use so this is a new deck for me. I've never used these before. They are a gift from a Facebook friend of mine for whom I have read several times. That's how we met. She's actually, quote unquote, met. She's actually in Australia. I'm here in New York. We've never met in person or anything like that. But she is a reading client of mine and a divine light cleanse client of mine for both herself and her divine masculine. And she has gifted me Journey of Love by Alana Fairchild, Rasuli, and Richard Cohen. This is what the box looks like. So I'm going to get an oracle message from these. Again, beginning with just for a moment of joy, which was about that 50-50 exchange, and the need to the need to say yes and open our arms to the universe when they're waiting to say yes to us and to bestow gifts upon us. And opening 2, the light field. Card number 63. Just for a moment of joy again, 46. And opening to heart fire, number 1. 1 being about manifestation. You can manifest your heart's desires if you keep pushing like the 9 of fire. You could have this. Just for a moment of joy. So like, don't be down and out. This is very 9 of fire-ish too, actually. 'Cause it's like, don't be down and out. Like, believe that there can be ace of airs, like new starts, even where there was difficulty prior. Believe you can keep going and be the victor, despite, what the obstacles look like. Accept your situation. And the overall energy is 3-1, which is pretty hilarious. But just like the other card, there's only 2 people standing here. So, and the card is number 10, which is another 1. So we narrowed it down, basically. Okay. The masculine is dealing, we've seen this throughout the reading. The masculine is dealing with past love issues. Maybe unrequited, maybe somebody in love with him not in love with them. Maybe they had mutual love, but no longer. Some various issues of that. And or love that isn't romantic at all, but actually is, some other friend or family member or something that, is still a loved one, but not in the couple sense. And for the feminine passion, so following, what, again, drives your heart, what motivates you, and letting go of the other stuff. Stop being greedy and trying to have, like, your old stuff that you don't even want anymore and your new stuff. For the masculine, page of air. Logical, honest, impulsive, and curious is the page of air. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. Well, this can certainly be truth delivered without tact based on the other spreads that came out. And to me, it was clear that some kind of truth bomb is going to be dropped. That deceit card where there had been deceit, that's going to come to light. That's why I was made to focus on the sun card. I realized that, as we were going along too. This is the moon reading, but the sun is showing up because things are about to come to light, and it's with this truth bomb. Also, this explains, the page of air is here to explain, and Raphael's outside too. The page of air is here to explain why there's been delay in some cases, and why some of these obstacles where we would have expected them to move, they have not moved yet. Again, in part, for some of us, that's Pluto retrograde, and Pluto goes direct in the 28th, so you should see some changes to whom that applies. To the feminine, the king of air. Brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic is the king of air. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. The king of air can be this guy, the ice king. Can be whom you have to let go, or who is a block to you, similar to the side of the masculine. Remember, this triangle sits here in between all of us. It's not only them, it's over here too. That can be what that is. Some of us may need to go see a king of air, a lawyer, somebody, a mediator of some sort, family counseling, something like that. If you need professional advice, seek it. From the Tony Carmine Universal Love Oracle to the masculine, the gateway. So again, to me, I always envision like the union, the couple here, in here. And like, you know, one's loved ones here, the other's loved ones here, but they're all protected, you know, infinitely and forever. And so we shouldn't be afraid to make moves in life as if, you know, we doubt the universe is going to keep its word. If anybody doesn't keep, you know, its word, it's us and other humans, not not the universe. It does what it promises to do always. To the feminine, healing sounds. Some of us may need to listen to some of these to get through some of the situations with which we're confronted. Again, I don't know what there will be for each person. I just see something a-brewing, as they say. Other meanings, as we saw, communication between the couple. Listen to the universe too. Pay attention to your dreams. Keep a notebook or a piece of paper and a pen, like on a nightstand or something, to write down your dreams when you wake up. And so, you know, you might be getting some answers, messages from afar to bring that full circle. And lastly, to the masculine, yin yang lover. So very much like balance, and that this time maybe more air and fire and earth. I see too. I see a lot of white, green, red, air, earth, fire, sort of swirling about in order to achieve balance. And look at the number 8 here. So that's that infinite support and guidance. Again, I'll read this card from the book. And for the feminine, becoming. And it's a 34. We started with 2 7s and we're ending with a 7.